we're still kind of setting up. How y'all doing? I was trying to fix some model stuff and it did not work, so hopefully I don't have to spar again too much today.
What do you mean it's on a life level? Are you good?
How y'all been?
Are you okay?
Shoulder's better than it was yesterday. It's like on the cusp. I'm still been doing
This is why I joined the bus.
a little irritated, but I just did my PT for today.
Probably.
No, if it's this horrible passive, no, you cannot stream it because I even tried
It's
to load
probably
this
not a
world
good
in,
idea.
and the model was loaded in at the same time. I've been unable to do that kind of shit.
I'm always fine, of course.
It's when I have to load in this desktop first before anything. Because then it loads everyone's models before
Oh, damn it.
everything.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
I'm lounging to the maximum efficiency.
Do it. I mean, might as well before just like standing for fucking ever.
Genuinely, because my partner was over there, I brought down all of the shit off of my bed downstairs.
I still
Because I
feel
get
like
cold
shit for
really
not
easily.
joining yesterday, but at the
So I
same
put
time,
like a
I
quilt,
would
my
be fine.
pillows, all my comfy shit.
Nice.
You're fine.
Have a beanbag on top of a mattress.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the essence of comfy. Beanbag on mattress.
Yeah, basically. And but like a beanbag that turns into like a mattress on top of a mattress.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's actually so based. I fuck with that.
It's nice, except for it kind of like
The mattress becomes
gets
the
out of.
spring.
Kind of, yeah. Though it's gotten a little bit warped, so I need to like fluff it out. Ugh.
Sorry, I need some jelly for my jam.
Oh damn.
Thanks, homie.
It's strawberry jam.
No problem. Absolutely. So,
Centaurians look out for each other.
Centaurians look out for each other since day one.
Damn right.
Switched out now to get that.
Centurion bros just being Centurion bros.
What's this RPM metaverse item where its own world? Hey Carlin, this is its own world.
Look at the Centauri.
This is another one of those Academy RPs. Oh. Sup.
Anyway, back to the Centurion group. Oh god, they're all
Oh, well.
You be nice to him.
You're almost doing better. Yeah. I'm hoping it'll get better again.
Oh, hey, bro, you want to make out?
It's okay, I got this.
Whoa. Damn, you got bubble beamed.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there multiplayer on this game?
Mom said it's my turn on the PlayStation.
Burritos.
Follow all their shit and see when they put out openings is basically.
This is tricky, man.
I only knew there was openings because my friend sent me a message for this one.
Pissed off. It's random 11.
Another valid one.
What?
Like 15 years ago.
Oh my god, you did it in, finally.
To this day.
How many more do we
This is
have?
I was on a meeting, bro, a residential meeting. I was away for 2 weeks.
Holy shit.
This dickhead pulls up to me. I load up in Crash Bandicoot on PS2. I load in. He pulls up and says, "Hey man, do you want to take it in turns when you die we swap controllers?" And I'm like, "Yo, that sounds fun. I don't know you, but I like you. You're my friend now." I die on level 1. He takes the controller. He beats the entire game without dying.
Yep, that sounds like literally all of my friends and me when it comes to gaming.
No, actually.
And then he was no longer
Just
my
a
friend.
that I met at fucking Christian club.
Nice.
I know. I'm not even a Christian. I just went there for the free food.
That's fair.
This is top. God is smiting me now because I went to this fucking club with no pig.
Got one more.
Oh,
Please, we got two more. We got two more.
two more what?
It's
Two
okay.
more.
Keep high.
You,
What are we
you're
doing?
these two are the only ones that haven't loaded in yet.
Oh no.
You're at
My
90%.
hero and my favorite moth and my water bender, the avatar. What?
Come on. 92%.
Beam squad.
Come on. 93. Fuck!
Do it. I believe in you.
Burrito bitches. 93. 94.
Getting to meet him early is so efficient for not lagging because everyone joins one at a time and they load in immediately. It's so nice.
95.
It's like when I joined this fucking meetup last, my shit goes to hell. I crash so I join first. I'm smooth, like every time.
Yeah. Now I'm worried about crashing and getting my internet to drop out again. It's been doing that consistently and I don't know
I
why.
joined like literally
At least once,
Yeah.
but it fucks up when I'm trying to get it back in.
96.
I'm sorry.
We're almost
I believe in you.
Hi, Paul. I spoke to the DMs and showed them the.
Bardic Inspiration, you got this!
Oh, hello there, Cookie. How are you?
Hold on. Eating cinnamon toast crunch.
Who the fuck is that? There's Doritos.
Oh my god, I love that's my favorite.
It's the crackhead.
Damn.
It's the crackhead, don't
Oh my
worry.
god,
I heard you, don't worry, you did
please.
talk to Quink. I saw
Yeah,
you talking to him.
I know. And like he said, it was okay because I showed him the bottle. It's worse than we thought.
God, please.
It's wrong.
Oh god. Yeah, no, I'll fix that.
Yeah,
What?
it's like turbo ultra omega clipped, and like the back
Oh
is
my
like.
god, please, 98%.
I'll help
I
you.
know.
I'll help you.
I'm probably
Don't worry.
thank you. I appreciate
I'm
it
so
much.
close,
You do.
please.
Thank you.
99.
Looking at me. I did nothing.
99%, please,
I got
God.
you.
You do.
Damn, I'm gonna be Wayne Gretzky for a while.
100%. Holy shit, it's
It's a pigeon
Yasushi.
version of what you want.
Holy shit, it's me, Waterbeam!
Oh, fuck. Oh,
Pass
oh.
crashed. And then they die.
Yep, we're gonna,
That's
yep.
why I aimed high, so
That's
I wouldn't
not-
hit you.
It's okay. I like how Kokkuri shields have no lag and they look like that. How did you do
Yeah, I
that?
know, right?
They look so good. and there
Poyomi?
is Nothing
Oh, I
in
should
relation.
probably
love
preload my
Poyomi.
fucking combat model. That
Poyomi.
would probably be a good idea. Oh yeah, you load up fucking immediately for some reason. That's
Oh,
fine.
oh,
You're on your knees.
oh,
That makes sense. When
oh, your hair.
What happened?
Oh, there it is, okay.
Oh, was I bald?
You were bald for me for a second.
Was I bald?
Your hair was clipping into your
Motherfucker,
body.
reset.
Oh, it's okay now. It's okay now.
The hair was clipping into your body for a moment. I was like, oh god.
It's okay, Pookie Pie.
That to be the
You're
default.
alright.
Hold on.
I
got
love
it.
Greg's bakes. I could go and heat up a Greg's bake before session. I love Greg's. I'm so British.
I don't know what that is.
None
Oh,
of you
no.
know what- I know you don't. I wish you did though. It's so good.
Like, there are certain things I know, but just from, like, fucking, like, Doctor Who and Are You Being Served and Red Dwarf. That's it. Oh. Oh.
You handsome man.
Oh.
Oh, chat, goodbye, chat.
Dude, I drank a glass of milk earlier with like ice cold. It was so good.
Can't escape from your sins.
I will! Watch me! Yeah?
Get up here.
Here we go.
I fucking love Red Dwarf, by the way. I didn't expect someone else here to know what that is.
Red Dwarf is amazing.
Listen, I'm seeing a racist against
I know.
Thank you. First thing, triangle button. It turns off the music to the map. So if you want to do that, there's the button. This does not include the bees though. The bees are eternal.
I love the bees.
Oh, that's better. Ooh.
The Chocobees.
I did some map updates as usual. I fixed the spawn box, obviously.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hell yeah, Red Dwarf.
Besides that, just letting you guys know, out of character morning announcements will be a little delayed. It should be happen like 15, 30 minutes from now.
Okay.
Anything else out of character wise? Oh yeah, I'm gonna shrink those buttons down, so it's gonna be less it's gonna be more short people friendly later.
Just get taller.
Can you make them larger?
Oh, I
Just
am
roll
trying to look over the house thing, so you guys still might have to use the open thing. I know, I'm sorry, I'll get to it eventually.
Open thing?
And I believe that's it. Everything else you'll find out in character.
Shitpost Red Dwarf Harpion. Nice.
Can you make those buttons larger?
Yeah, can you like raise them up so sure people can't touch them? Yeah, just make them really high. Yeah, make them like Europa and blind people accessible only.
Put them on the ceiling. Put them on the ceiling in the different corners.
You're one of the short ones.
April
No.
Fool's update. You can
Anyways,
edit the
y'all
map
can
by
start
one
going
point.
Flying
Oh
supremacy.
shit, right. Okay.
Get in there.
Let's go.
Let's
You
go.
know what you do? Okay, you make them all different buttons.
God, you
has
look
the
at my
first
hands
letter
right
of
now.
each race on them.
Alright, here we go.
Exits. Blacksmithers.
Where do I want to go today?
Oh, where was Kia last?
Yeah, fuck,
Oh,
where is,
I don't know. Dorms. Alright, I'm gonna go to my funny area. Do I want to lay down? No, I'm probably just gonna Kia be sitting up.
What are you? Ooh. Dude, I need to.
Be having fun up there, Cube.
Good morning.
Good morning, I suppose.
Did you rest well?
I suppose one might say.
That is good. I am somewhat worried about the others. There have been several that have been running around and overexerting themselves.
If they choose to waste their energies, then they may do so. As long as it's not required for them to be used elsewhere.
I do suppose. Though it is probably against the hopes of the Academy to have people wearing themselves down too quickly. Set aside a notebook.
From what I've seen, they've almost seemingly have infinite energy to spend, considering how often they decide to, spend it all in one go.
Perhaps.
Truth of the matter is, sure, some of them actually do need rest, though. Sometimes one may question if that's really is the case.
Perhaps I simply do not know the proper traditions here yet. I was hoping to have more information over the past week, but I at least have some theories about our enemy.
Information about what? Oh. Those cultists?
Yes. I've been attempting to at least discern what the nature of the artifact that we have is, and what may be their reason for using spirits.
I see. So you're trying to learn it off the artifact? By the sounds of things?
Yes, and from the Dreamweaver spirit, as it is still currently bound to it. It will not allow me to glean it.
So you're saying that you literally go and talk to a fallen foe?
Yes, it was at least somewhat educational.
Oh, do tell. If you don't mind, that is.
Perhaps this is a better group explanation. I do not know who Kyo has told yet. But it is probably best to get everyone on the
Kyo.
same page, yes. He wished to speak with it, and I joined him
see.
in order to make sure that the spirit did not cause harm and also potentially to be able to glean it. Despite the circumstances, I believe that at least most of the information we received was accurate.
Oh? How can you be so certain?
I have spent a significant portion of my life being among spirits, listening to them, noting what their excessive emotion is, and being able to glean insight from them. This particular spirit does not want to be tied to us as much as we do not want them here on the campus. They also seem to have animosity towards the leader of the cult for forcing them into what they are right now.
Is that so? Well, that's interesting to hear.
I am hoping that at least knowing this and what he could provide will give us some more insight into the cult's activities and what they intend to do, what we may be up against. Though unfortunately it seems that whatever curse is on him, tying him to the artifact, may physically keep him from telling us everything we need to know.
So we're dealing with annoying and curses, so it's good to know that the fallen foes sometimes are loose-lipped. That I find interesting.
If one has been betrayed by someone they considered, I suppose they called him the father. If one is betrayed by their leader and forced out of what they joined the cult in order to do, it is to be expected that their emotions, especially as a spirit, would counter their willingness to be a part of such a thing anymore.
I suppose that their way of atonement then is to divulge what they can.
It is not a means of atonement for him. He simply wishes to, I suppose, spite his former employer.
I suppose. Amusing.
He believes that the Gorgon spirit is no longer within the cycle, which I do not believe to be true. That would go against everything we have been taught about the planet's core and the mana. One does not simply disappear from the cycle itself.
Well, you would probably have the most insight in regard to that.
Hmm.
As you said yourself, your entire clan dedicates yourself to that sort of work.
I'm hoping to learn what this cult is attempting to do with the spirits. To be able to create them so easily and use them as tools is very taboo. I do not know how exactly they are doing it.
Oh, I can just imagine.
But I suppose most of this information is best within a group. I do not know who all Q has told yet, but apparently not you. Perhaps we should gather for a meeting at some point.
This is literally the first.
I was hoping to at least get
Because-
some more information before I brought my findings to the group.
For bear in mind, sharing the information is probably the wisest idea. Are we not supposed to work all together?
This is what I am assuming, though it is also best not to provide false information.
Of course, of course. The credibility of it. It's gonna be interesting to hear. And I expect good results from someone that's an expert within that field.
I can only provide what I know so far, and potentially some options for what it could be. Whether I am correct or not, I suppose time will tell.
I'm looking forward to it.
I at least gathered my notes. So perhaps I should find Kyo and see who he has spoken to, and we can gather people for a meeting later.
It said, also, aren't morning announcements soon? Question mark.
This is true. We should most probably get food.
Also, Mr. Cube, I think it's gonna be an interesting day. Also, you might, if you were to speak, I think you might have been spoken in echoes. No, that is, if you were even capable of. Your writing is certainly doubled.
The flux works in strange ways.
It does.
Shall we?
I suppose. No point in lingering here.
Fuck. Okay.
Good morning. What is a hot take?
He immediately just writes something down on a piece of paper and puts it in the box.
I do not know what they are looking for. I suppose people will explain later.
Controversial opinions, typically.
I wonder if there are many.
It depends on the person. Usually.
I do not believe I have been here long enough to have controversial opinions yet.
I wrote down something funny at least.
Well, hopefully your concerns can be met.
Why are you stealing that?
Because we're having.
They were just in a hurry. So. I don't even think they noticed. Like I said, it's fine.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Kokkuri.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Things have gotten better. I was able to make sure that I did not press myself further than I needed.
All right, good.
Still got time before announcements, probably. Right?
I think at this point
Does seem to
we
be the case.
around 10 minutes.
Though it is probably best to
about
get
right.
food.
That's enough time.
Food is a good idea.
Attention, all morning announcements will begin shortly. If you're not in the announcement hall, please start making your way there now.
Shit, I need to grab a couple things.
That was good timing. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Kokkuri. I've made a mistake by...
Morning.
Good morning.
Sorry.
Oh. They are very slippery.
I can't believe there's an unlimited amount of this stuff. It's amazing. It tastes really good, too.
That is good. It seems like it would not cause your body harm.
Carnivorous by nature. They devour flesh. This is good.
Looks as if we were at least able to put together the coat rack properly again.
I'm honestly glad that is the case.
It is best not to get in trouble on the first week or two. Oh.
I would rather not, personally speaking.
Wait, I'm not a man. I'm safe.
I think I might still try to eat you.
That part
I'm a
I never
woman.
seen
I think I
any
might still
mushrooms
try
with
to eat
Azure
you.
the mouse before, but
What are you carrying there?
oh, I think I got about I got a little basket full about like 10 or 11 different fruits.
Also, I hate to tell you, but
What's the occasion?
acid beats rock.
Breakfast.
Oh,
Very nice occasion, of course.
You count as that?
Oh, one of my favorites.
You count as that
Oh,
red
gotta start the day right. Well, here we are. I'll try to eat as quietly as possible.
Good morning.
I can't tell if that's an insult or a compliment.
Yeah, and your what is it? The blood is the drink, right? Yeah, that's how that works.
Sure. Wait, what? Sorry, I'm fucking zoning out. Why am I drinking blood?
Not my
You've
practice.
missed a whole chapter of conversation.
It's safer that way.
Hey.
It's not your problem. So
Conversations get very interesting in the morning.
Apologies for that little delay there, little backup conversations. Hello everyone, good morning, good morrow. We'll be having 2 classes today. Please excuse the lack of box, I hate the box. We'll be having 2 classes, one run by Professor Fontaine in Racial Studies, or the beginning of Racial Studies. He'll be starting off with 4 races, of which you'll list when it's his classroom. After that will be Ironwood's lesson on overhealing. Valkyries would be beneficial to... I feel the gust of wind that I'm going to be punched. Ironwood. Anywho. Ironwood. However the case. After Fontaine's class will be overhealing. Valkyries would be beneficial for you to be attending that class for the sake of your notes and your classes. However, all houses are welcome to join in that classroom. You'll be getting the specifics of that during Fontaine's class about the racial studies. But for another announcement for all student body, primarily for cavalry, after discussions with Professor Copperbeard and Professor Sayori, Sayori will be moving into being the primary care and the primary professor for cavalry, and Copperbeard will become the assistant for cavalry. Instead of Copperbeard being the primary, he will be secondary.
So bad I can't really understand her.
Arrangements down in Phoenix. It would be more beneficial for time management. If you have any questions of this, please speak to Sayori or any of the professors. We're happy to help where we can. But going forward, if you want primary care, talk with Sayori. She'll be taking care of the cavalry going forward. If there are no other announcements I need to make, I feel the winds of me being punished coming soon, so I will depart. Please look to Fontaine for where the classroom will be held.
Why is the principal going to be punched?
Ironwood has a vendetta against the headmistress?
Ironwood just got there, so yes, the wind just had a gust.
Oh, is my avatar walking wonky? Oh, fuck. Good to see you, Motherly Morphosis.
There's a hole in Jacuno / Alphonse
Being and drinking,
office.
just...
Do not go in it. I repeat, do not go in the hole, please.
What?
A hole. If anyone is jumping into random holes, there's already a problem.
Yeah, Alphonse
That's what I was about to say.
Please do not jump into random holes, Cube.
Yes, but it's a hole. Where's the rabbit?
Oh.
time to get some breakfast.
Good catch.
I also knew they woke up this morning and then there was a hole.
What they did to the classroom for Fontaine's class.
Why were you in his
I
office?
was simply making a statement.
That's how I know he's around.
No?
Same way I can see him around. He's teleporting around.
It's like a sneeze.
Alright, in regards to starting at least studies on the different races here in the Vandiles, I'll be
Just wish to be
beginning my
certain.
lesson in about 3 to 5 minutes from now over in the main classroom. Of course, I'll give it some time before I officially start, but of course you may meet there whenever you feel free to. But once the lesson starts, the lesson starts. Plain and simple.
So we head over there now?
Yeah, I'm sure it's very bad.
The amplification is very difficult to hear, but I believe I
had a favorite cult.
understood most.
Yeah, I'm like, huh?
There's a hole.
Where'd they go? In the hole.
In
Alright.
room. Don't go in it.
Breakfast completed.
Alex, you might want to fix your hip. Your hip was kind of broken.
For Fontaine's
Them fruits are good, right?
in about 5 minutes.
Indeed.
Right.
Yeah, oh, I ain't never had that deep like them before, but they were so good. Ugh.
I mean, it's one of the time I fell asleep during resurrection lesson. He was not happy about that.
We do like to wander, however.
Time to go to the class. That's partially my fault. Or is it?
How hard is it for you to sit down and think?
Oh, more difficult than you might think.
Thinking it might be a little difficult.
They're very high.
He also has a balance problem. Like, you know how we can do this easily?
Hey, yes, I'm sorry, but
You want me
to filling up a role right now. But you know how we can just do this pretty easily, right?
I'll be fine.
They can't do that.
Besides, I really doubt this anyone is more knowledgeable about racism than me, at least student-wise.
Yeah, I could for like maybe a second or two, but yeah, I would just fall over. As soon as any of my yeah.
Kia.
oh my god.
This is gonna be a thing.
Kia.
My horns and I go over.
Yes, the horns are what do it.
Just in here, or is it just walk out?
Kia.
Jumping.
At some point, should we attempt to gather people and explain what we have found? I have gained some more insight over the week.
Yeah, I'm sure you should.
Though not much.
Probably after, Fontane's, racial studies, most likely.
Agreed.
When some are open, the classes are not done.
Yes,
Are
I would
done.
assume after the classes. I have at least been taking notes. Oh, thank you.
Rock on the table. I kind of want to eat one.
That is probably not the best for you. It would be like the coat rack.
But it looks really crunchy.
But it is not meat.
I only have a small piece. By the way, who is Team Cupid? I do not believe I know them.
I have not heard the name either. Perhaps it is a new
People have already made
group?
hidden groups or something. I do not know.
Perhaps one of the elders know.
Oh, I could always ask it out. I'll probably hear something at some point. I typically do.
Most probably.
Because it's T7, not T. Holy shit.
Ah, that does remind me.
I mean, I do not love tea. I would not eat the tea set. I have never done that before.
That would probably be for the best. I wonder if
Yes, of course, I would
the academy has proper matcha. I did promise a few people a tea ceremony.
What is a matcha?
It is a specific type of green tea. The people in my order drink it often. It is also used for ceremonial purposes.
I've never heard of it before, but then again, I'm not the most educated person on the planet. Makes sense.
There are many types of tea especially, so it is difficult to learn them all. Our particular type is turned into a powder.
What is that?
I do not know.
Well, I'm gonna go find out. Have fun.
Throwing up bad, so. Oh. You should be good.
Who's ever playing a sound right now, shut up! It's world!
Yo, Sayori.
Oh, I was like, we don't know what that is. I had a feeling I didn't want to be anywhere near that.
Yeah, it probably was a good idea.
Yeah, it's also super loud.
I do suppose the professor was doing something. Is everything all right?
She seems to be better now, yeah. She was just releasing some excess mana she was building up, so hasn't been using it much. Let that also be a lesson why you should never piss off Sayori or any of the other professors.
Noted.
It says, don't tell anyone what is a eardrum. Why is an instrument being mixed into people's bodies? I need help.
Very well.
It is part of the body. It helps direct sound.
I guess I...
If things are too loud, it can be harmed.
As I see, I did not know that. Admittedly, I'm still new to the whole body thing.
It is strange what people call things in the common tongue. But I am told that it somewhat looks like a drum, so maybe that is why. I have not seen one myself.
And so people are just mixing instruments into their body. It looks like an actual drum. That is insanity.
I do not think that is exactly how it works. It is simply... They choose the name of something because it looks similar to something else. That is all.
Oh, it's kind of like stealing in a way. Okay, I understand. I'm not familiar with stealing. I mean, I'm not. I haven't done it. I promise.
That is none of my concern.
I know, right? That's factual information, of course.
But it at least looks that nothing is wrong. I do not know when the class is supposed to begin or where. I would assume the classroom this time.
Probably. I believe they said so. Admittedly, instead of going to a race class, I might just practice a new spell I've been trying to learn.
What sort of spell?
I do not think it is a good idea to tell anybody. They'll probably tell me not to try and learn it.
Then it would probably be best to at least tell an instructor. They would at least tell you.
With a gross body, this thing actually puts a lot of strain on my body. Essentially, I'm splitting my body apart and reinfusing it with mana and slime at the same time. It's like ripping apart each of your cells and then reconstructing them. What I'm trying to do is infuse the heat aspect of grease magic into my body to the point where it overloads and starts burning and melting everything, even concrete, metal, or the ground. The only issue is it carbonizes my slime and literally kills me using it.
That is dangerous.
I would probably say after about 2 minutes of use, I wouldn't exist anymore.
Then I would probably be in agreement that it is not a good thing to focus on, or at least if you're going to, you should do it in very small increments.
That is what I'm attempting. I overheated the other day, and I wasn't able to use magic for 13 hours.
How do you regenerate your body?
Well, I typically have small chunks of meat inside me that I just digest and grow with. So that, or I'll find a rat or something else to eat to temporarily inflate myself, or I can just force grease into my slime. It's like a temporary artificial extension. Issue is, the second it runs out, it's very painful.
And perhaps it is...
imagine filling your cells with water, for example.
That does seem unpleasant. Though...
It is, but it works.
If you intend to do such a thing, I would at least suggest telling a professor first, that they can watch, and also have plenty of meat on hand.
I don't know. I think it's a better thing to train in private, personally. Admittedly, if it does work, I'm practically untouchable for about 2 minutes. I mean, if I can melt through steel, ground, concrete, and stone, then touching me is practically a death sentence to most people. It's quite a good trump card.
And perhaps even more the reason to practice it in a controlled environment.
I've been practicing by myself. Well, not very far over there, where nobody usually is at night. It's quite painful, though.
I see.
It's fine. I do not mind. I don't mind at all. It's just something that I must grow to get used to.
If you feel that is proper.
But wait. I thought you wanted to go to the race classes. Have they not started yet?
I honestly do not know. It was very difficult to hear the announcements.
I was paying attention to my breakfast. That's why I didn't hear much of it. It started rolling and I got very distracted because it went choo, 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 and I kind of just...
I was assuming that it would probably be about those groups that I have already encountered once or twice. We do move around to many places.
Probably. Honestly, I'm not too interested in that sort of class. I've learned a lot in the library. I've been reading through, a lot of books and the like.
There is quite a good selection there. It was a bit surprising. I've not seen a proper library before. Usually they do not let us
I
in.
did try to access the forbidden information section, but I couldn't get anything out of it. The magic on there is quite strong. Food is the most interesting department for sure. Why is it so forbidden? What makes it so dangerous? I want to learn.
I suppose if we knew, then it would be against the purpose of it in the first place.
I know, but still, it's like the biggest mystery of this place, apart from the house up there. I wonder what the headmistress keeps in their house anyway.
I would assume at least a bed.
I would hope so.
What do people usually keep in their
Cindy,
houses? We did not exactly have houses.
I don't know. I've never had a house before. I've never lived in a place with walls either. This is my first time.
That
Honestly,
is the
I've had
same.
a lot of first times at the academy so far.
It is a lot to take in. There are already spars going on.
Indeed. We've been fighting for about 5 minutes now, it would appear.
Suppose I still need to get better at the hand-to-hand.
I think I'll keep my fighting style as is. I don't like to be too tactical and fully aware. I think fighting like a monster is much better fit for someone like me who can melt through attacks.
That does remind me. The other week, there was something that you said that I was curious about.
Nee, what was it?
You had mentioned that it is generally necessary for people to have a monster or something of the like to focus on. What did you mean by that?
Well, from what I've experienced in my life, people, they group together, they band together, and they form groups when they're against one unified goal. Same as how it is at the academy. The monster in that instance being the cult. Where I was that monster. It was practically all I knew. Survival. But to not get hunted to death. I did a lot of bad things, but I had to survive. As such, the people there grew to hate me. All of them. They still do. Although, in advent of all of the misery, what kept them going was the dedication they had to kill me. So I continued on being the monster for them.
I suppose that is what I am curious about. Do you intend to do that forever?
If it is necessary, I suppose so.
Do you believe that it is necessary?
I don't believe my actions are redeemable. Not in their eyes, at least. As such, I think it's necessary, yes.
That is a sad consideration. Giving up the
It's
belief
all
in
I've ever
redemption.
known.
Hmm.
You know, it's just my life.
But you are not the same as the
That means
cult.
other people can band together. Yes, I'm not. However, they think I'm probably just as bad.
Perhaps now, yes, but they do not know. It is better for them to, if they are going to gather around, as you say it is best. It is best to gather around a monster that actually exists.
I'm very real and I've done a lot of harm to every one of them.
Hmm. From what you've told
Again,
me,
I do not think they'll ever forgive me. It is not something that I expect. So, I don't mind.
perhaps not, but it was not your fault. Unlike the cult,
I know.
you did not mean to do what you did. So if they are going to gather around something, it should be one that is not attempting to redeem themselves.
Well, I'm not here for redemption. I don't think I'm deserving of that anyway.
Hmm.
What I do know is this. They were miserable based on the actions that transpired, and then they found out what happened. They directed that misery into other emotions. There's hope, anger, glee, the ability to take revenge.
Hmm.
It's better than being in misery, objectively speaking.
Hmm.
I've seen the effects of both, and they seemed much worse off when they were all miserable and sad. As such, I don't mind being hated.
Perhaps, but I do not consider such a thing to be better than the other. I have seen the consequences of intense emotions either way. Intense fear, intense anger. Ah, greetings, Professor.
How are you two doing?
Hmm. The day is still young. I do not know. I assume the class has already begun.
I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing well yourself, Professor.
I'm doing a lot better now.
Hmm.
It says that big aura earlier was you, right? It was really cool. It was like as big as a huge explosion.
Yes, that was me.
Hmm. I'm told you are releasing excess mana. Are you alright?
That is technically a spell of mine.
Hmm.
If I don't release it so often, my dark mana gets very backed up compared to my ice mana.
Hmm. I see. It's very important not to hold such things for too long. I do similar rituals with my shrine. Hmm. You were doing
I'm
a
sorry
class
if I
later?
scared any of you.
Hmm.
I am not.
Hmm.
I am who it is.
Ah, right. The announcements were somewhat
It says
difficult
I
to
thought
hear.
it was cool with a little like cat face at the end of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sorry.
Hmm.
It says for what?
Oh. I don't know. I just feel like saying it for some reason. I think the release of mana is so getting into me, so.
Hmm. It is understandable.
His little boat says, it's alright. I just hope that you're okay. That's all.
Yep.
Hmm. Which did you say
This
was
is
an
not that
onsen
I'm
here?
also used to fighting.
Was it that?
Oh, that's a brink right over there.
I had somewhat thought so.
Yeah.
It was just strange to see one next to fighting grounds.
It's so that, After you train, you can relax.
Hmm. I suppose so. Though I do hope that people are following the proper traditions. Hmm.
Says, what are the proper traditions with a concerned expression next to it?
At least within our order, when we find a hot spring, it is best to cleanse oneself before you go in, to make certain that the water itself is kept pure. And next to a training grounds, that can be more difficult. People do not think properly, and they would simply get in without making sure the water is fine.
It says, how do I cleanse myself? ... question mark.
I suppose that is a good question. You are damaged by water? No? Then it would simply be a matter of... They call it a shower, or simply putting water over yourself, to get rid of anything on the surface first. Normally we would simply use buckets.
He puts his hand out on like random pieces of sharp iron and copper and steel and other random things like wood, a cloth, a piece of bone, a brick, a piece of a tree, like the thing he bit out of the fucking coat rack the other day, some stone from over there, a piece of a bush. It just kind of falls out of his body.
Oh. I do suppose that works as well.
Is that cleansing myself?
Partly, yes. Otherwise, for us it would also be simply a ritualistic purification. The water is meant to do something similar, but also for the spirit.
He reabsorbs it. She is so goddamn fast, Jesus Christ.
It would make sense.
It's about as fast as I am when I move on no goddamn friction. And that's infinite accelerating. How on earth can they do that normally?
Many of us are quite swift.
I suppose so. I mean, I've never really learned to be fast. I can just kind of do it because of my magic, but that is insane. That's just pure hard work, isn't it?
Possibly. Sometimes it is also in the blood.
I've been in a hot spring before.
It has been some time. I tend to not go too many that we have passed because they have been too deep.
Too deep? What do you mean?
I am not the best with large bodies of water.
Oh, can you not swim?
No. And also, if I were to bring out my wings at all, they would get very heavy.
That does make sense. As for my species, we emerge from the oceans or volcanoes, so usually swimming is pretty normal for us. I was actually born from a volcano myself. Crawled out one day.
So the spirit was correct.
Apparently, I don't know how they knew that though. It's kind of weird. I didn't tell anybody. I've never mentioned it actually in my life.
Perhaps there are others that they have seen.
Possibly. Thought I was pretty unique for my species though. Apparently slimes are supposed to have a water-absorbing quality. I don't have that. I'm also completely different, which is weird. And supposedly it probably isn't too detrimental either. I don't get it. I'm kind of strange, I suppose.
I do understand. I could be considered strange among my kind as well, considering I am half.
Half what?
My mother is yokai, but my father is Fane.
Oh, I see.
The elders call me a Shinchu.
That makes sense. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, personally speaking, at least I don't think I can be a mix of anything. We do not really regret this. We kind of just split up one day. The mini cube eventually.
Is that how that works?
It says, yeah, that's how it works. We do just kind of split off eventually, and there's two of us.
And perhaps they have seen more before.
It says, by the way, if you do find a hot spring with too deep water, I can help with that. I can just rip off a part of my body and you can use it as a flotation device.
That is an odd thing to consider. I do appreciate it, but I do not wish you to harm yourself.
He just kind of pulls his hand off, puts it back on.
I do suppose that helps. Thank you, Cube.
Anytime he's got like a stupid little like cat face that's kind of happy at the end of it.
I have been curious. Where does the name Cube come from?
He looks really smug and confident when you say that. Says I came up with it all by myself, you know, like the shape.
Oh. I see. I had been curious. In our tongue, it can mean many things. Just in the dirt, draws out a couple, looks like kanji characters. For this, cube could mean a steep part, like a mountain.
I don't think I'm a mountain. I believe myself to be slime. Am I a rock?
No.
Been a rock this entire time.
There are simply various meanings for things. Like, if you changed this part to...
I just naturally assumed it was the shape. I did spell it right, didn't I? My name.
I honestly do not know. I've simply mostly been going by phonetics. I am much better with the yokai language. But we have more symbols.
Let's see.
If we spelled it like this, it could be old group, like ancestors. Or...
I don't have any of those. I am a single person with no family.
If you change this one, it could mean... sudden, which would fit with how swift you can be.
I was sudden. I just started existing eventually. That's very true. Admittedly, Cube is a temporary name. I was never given one, and I didn't go by one for most of my life. I kind of just came up with it in Israel, if I'm being honest.
That recent. Well, for now, I believe it fits.
Before then, nobody ever tried to speak with me, so I didn't have a reason to have a name.
I see.
Indeed.
Do you still think it fits?
Yeah, it's not.
Or would you wish to change it?
I decided that if somebody comes up with a name for me, I will use that, as people are usually given names. But until then, I will go by Cube.
Very well. I do understand that. We have our given names, but we also create our own eventually. At least within the order.
So, yes, you know how it is. I mean, sure, eventually I will, well, have a name that isn't just cute.
That is fine.
Yeah, one day. Okay, they're not approaching, thank God. Oh, I'm just keeping an eye out on my surroundings. I am very nervous in big groups when it comes to speaking. It is not nice.
I do understand. I'm attempting to keep an eye on the others that way.
I'm doing my best. I can see through the back of my head.
I know, but it is best to help out.
I do appreciate it, Kokkuri. I'm pronouncing your name right? Like Kokkuri, that is true.
Yes, Kokkuri.
Oh, thank God. If I was pronouncing it this entire time, I would genuinely just start melting into the ground. I would be really embarrassed. I mean, I wouldn't do that because I am a competent individual who know full well that was your name this entire time.
I do appreciate it, but you would not have to worry either way. I am quite used to others not entirely knowing the yokai language.
Oh. I did not know that was yokai language. I just thought it was a name.
Our names tend to have meanings within our language.
Oh, dear God, my name has no meaning whatsoever. It is literally all over me. Oh, God.
It does have a meaning.
It is.
It is a shape. It is also several things.
It is a shape. It is like a box. Boxes are cubes, I think.
I do believe so.
God, I named myself after a containment method.
That is not entirely inaccurate as well, given what you just did.
I mean, I can trap people inside of myself, but you know.
And
It's
also
not
many
like the
pieces of
ideal thing
things.
to do. But you're not wrong. I mean, it's mostly for my weapon that I keep things inside of me for.
I suppose that makes things a bit easier. So long as it is not unhealthy. Like eating the wrong thing.
Oh no, it's more than that. I'm not acidic right now, so I'm not digesting any of it. No, it is merely I use a big staff made of metal, and I kind of wrap part of my body into a spearhead. It's constantly spiraling and moving, kind of like a saw, like a tu-tu-tu-tu-tu-tu. So when I put metal into it and I go doof on things, it starts ripping into it.
That is very useful.
It is, especially if I'm against an opponent that has a weakness to metal.
Yes, I did notice that you had some copper among you. I'll have to be careful of that.
Yes. Copper and iron. So if I just like bonk anybody who has a weakness to those things, they'll just have it shredded into their body for a bit upon contact.
That does not sound pleasant. It has happened before.
Or desperate. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It is to be expected.
I myself do not have any of those necessary weaknesses. Honestly, I don't have many. I think ice is just about it. Which is why I started work on a spell that changes my temperature, covering all the bases.
That is good to know.
Indeed. I mean, if I'm against an ice user and I activate it and I manage to touch them, I can probably melt off at least some of their skin or face or organs, but they're probably... It depends. You know, it's like we're here to fight big evil people, and I want to be effective at doing that. So...
That is understandable. If you need an ice shield, I will make sure to keep my distance.
Oh, okay. The only issue is I cannot use my magic in sparring at all, apart from just throwing grease at people and doing nothing.
That I also understand. Most of the time I cannot draw.
It turns out that most species don't take too kindly to being blown up. Repeatedly. Like multiple times. I'm telling you, it is a complete nightmare. Like, can you even imagine that? You just walk around and then suddenly, boom, your arm goes flying away. It's genuinely... What is it? I was not paying attention. I really wasn't paying attention at all. Like in the slightest. Oh god.
My apologies. I should have been more swift.
It's more than that. Are they okay?
She is also coming. I do not know. Oh. The flux. Hello, Lappy. Oh. The flux is quite terrible today. Does the ritual still work? Sheesh!
Sheesh.
It is beginning. Sheesh.
Sheesh.
Are you alright now? Perhaps not. I'm told it usually works.
Good,
I think. Oh, good. The ritual still works.
Thank you.
Greetings. Oh. Sheesh. Fortunately, just like the cycle, the flux seems to be ever present.
Yeah, that didn't work.
It is somewhat. Let's get there. Sheesh.
They cooked.
Yoda said it would usually work once or twice.
Wait.
Huh?
Wait. Oh.
Welcome back.
I seem to be...
Oh. Maybe not.
I seem to be getting better. I think...
Its board says the flux is stealing the J's.
What?
What is a J? Is this like the Cupid? Actually, Leppy, do you know of that? They said there was some sort of Team Cupid. We do not know what that is. Oh, that did not work either. Sheesh.
What is sheesh in the yokai language?
It is not exactly a particular word. It is more like a mantra.
Okay.
It's generally a mantra to set aside the flux. Oh. We had read something about a Team Cupid taking suggestions for things, but we do not know what a Team Cupid is.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Perhaps one of the second years now.
Ford says, I will ask around.
I do not know how long the classes were going, but I would assume that afterwards should find Kyo and try to gather people for the briefing.
I do know that a cupid is like one of those people that like matches people together.
A matchmaker. Are there a team of matchmakers within the academy?
His board says, yeah, Cupid shoots people in the throat and then they somehow fall in love. I don't understand.
That is not a custom I've heard of.
And then he shoots ya.
That seems as if it would be counterintuitive. One could kill someone before they are match made.
Most of the time they look like little babies with like diapers and like a sash.
That is even stranger.
And they have little curly hair. At least that's the stereotype. I'm not really sure if an actual Cupid looks like that.
So it is a type of mythological creature.
I believe they're called cherubs. You should probably know about cherubs more than me, though, being a demon. No?
I am technically a demon and I do not know about cherubs.
I don't know. I just read them in books before. I don't know if any of this is true.
Perhaps something to look up in the library then.
It could have been a fairy tale. I know I read a book.
We generally did not travel within Serenity. Perhaps it is a Serenity folklore.
It's also really hard for me to read in general because my hands get all sticky.
It says, can you not control that? Okay.
Every now and then I can't.
As I say, I don't know why I have never struggled. I just haven't for practically ever. Maybe it's an emotion thing.
Maybe. I can control the crystal part of me, but the slime part is a little bit harder to control.
He just kind of pulls his hand off and looks at it. Sticks it back on. It says, based off of my observations, I think I'm just slime.
That may perhaps be the reason.
From what it seems, probably.
It is somewhat difficult to control when there are two sides. I have similar issues. Normally my kind can hide our flame, but I cannot.
How do you keep your clothes on? I'm just saying, wouldn't it slip? Or is your clothes slime too? Cube, are you naked right now?
It says, I keep them formed on the outside of my body, usually. I did walk around naked whilst I was in Israel for a bit, and then I was told to put clothes on. Didn't know what they were, so I stopped. Purchased some.
That's what I did too. I didn't have clothes for a while until someone was like, you should put your clothes on. And I was like, what are clothes?
It is strange how certain customs override others in such a diverse world.
Well, the thing is I wasn't fully conscious until like, I want to say a couple of years, but I don't really know how long with that intake. But I wasn't fully conscious for a while, so I didn't even know what clothes were.
Your sport says really. I was fully conscious, but, well, after a couple of days of existing.
It took me a while. Maybe it's the crystals. But then again, there's also emotions and stuff like that. Did that take a couple of days too? Or did that take a while?
It says I don't really have those.
See? You're still trying to figure those out. What I mean by sentience, I mean full-on emotions and thoughts and things like that. I was able to roll around just fine.
It says I'm good on the thoughts department, just not the emotional one. Although I can comprehend what is good and what is bad in relation to others.
At least to us, such things would be a boon. It would mean that you are not at risk of becoming a spirit.
Depends on if he has a core, which I don't think he does. Then again, that wouldn't really turn into a spirit, though, I don't think.
Most anyone with mana can become a spirit. It is simply the emotions and the consciousness tied to the mana.
Are we having spirit talk over here?
Just briefly. It was a consideration of whether slimes could become spirits, but considering that all with mana can become a spirit, it would simply be a matter of the emotions tied to it and the process of which it happened.
That you would be correct on.
Though I have not met specifically a spirit that I had learned to be a slime before. Not yet, at least.
It says, in all fairness, we are very difficult to kill. And we live near enough forever.
This also helps, yes. That is for the best. Now I am beginning to think that I should have gone to that class, given that I'm learning much.
The board says, hey Lefty, when did you learn emotions? How did you unlock them?
I did meet a lot of people, so I guess I just figured it out. I'm not really sure myself. I must have made from, like, phase? And maybe they just did something and it made me learn emotion? I don't really know. I know Faye can sometimes be emotional, I think.
This board says, I see. I haven't really met many people myself that I've spoken with ever, so maybe it's a matter of time. Who knows?
Perhaps.
I used to hang out in this pub. There was a lot of emotion there.
The places where people gather tend to create such reaction, especially when alcohol is involved.
That's where I got my clothes.
Hmm.
Well, I think Doob is crashing now. I mean, going to the void. Oh, no. There he is.
Not yet.
He just kind of slams his hand on the ground, and some slime just kind of goes underneath you to make sure no dirt gets on you. You can just feel it rip away from your clothes.
Oh. Thank you.
He's just here connected to his shoulder through a very, very thin line to ensure that he can just retract at any point, but, you know, it's like sitting on a comfortable, like, warm blanket, I guess.
I'm beginning to think the waterfall would be a good place for rituals as well. Though the hill has been nice.
Thank you for letting me know that, Leppy. I'll keep it in mind.
It is good to learn such things.
His board then says it probably would be Kokkuri. It seems like quite a peaceful place to concentrate.
There are several places here that are that way. I was not expecting that when I first arrived. We'll see if there's time tonight, depending on how long the conversations go.
His board then says, I do believe class is still up if you want to probably reach the end of it. Who knows how long it has left, though.
That is true. Though I do not know whether coming in towards the end would be... what is the right term for it? Rude? Potentially disruptive.
It says they may not see it as the most polite thing in the world, but who knows?
I learned how to make a potion once. It was pretty cool.
I have somewhat been looking into that. It seemed interesting. We were told how to create
They
mixes, but not
basically
potions.
just told us to make a fruit salad.
Fruit salads are potions.
Well, they said to crush it up like fruit salad.
His quotes as potions are tasty. Smiley face, I like the glass.
I like the glass too.
I do not believe you should be eating the glass, however. That is probably not good.
It says, I don't know what you're talking about. I would never eat things I'm not supposed to. I promise I wouldn't do that. I don't actually eat glass. It was a joke, right? You believe me, don't you? With like a panicked, like, cat at the end with white eyes.
You can be very dichotomic. It is difficult to understand sometimes.
It says, I know what that means.
It's okay, Cube. I eat glass sometimes too.
Is it also bad for you?
I don't know. I have a bunch of clay in me, so I don't think glass is any better.
Does it make you sick?
I don't think so, no.
Then it is probably alright. Hello, Yasushi.
Hello.
He just melts into the ground as you approach.
Why?
Are you alright?
You killed him!
I didn't do anything.
Say you're sorry!
Hi.
It says I was startled.
Oh, sorry.
There's a little boy just says, "How are you, by the way?"
I'm doing okay. Just was helping Rupert train a little bit.
Is it going well?
Well, not with that sword he's got. He's almost a walking target with that thing.
It says, "What sort?" And I'm glad everything's going well. It sounds fun.
And he's got,
I'm gonna see what they're doing over there.
for all intents and purposes, a claymore, so... And he's having trouble
It
lifting
says,
it.
"Oh, those are..."
Many of the students do seem to have very large weapons.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the unique variety. I think you'd see a lot more of at least one weapon or the other. But there's at least a good mix. I'm surprised.
It says, "I see a good few swords, but that's about it. These are trident personally."
But at least the swords are unique between each other. They're not like all the same sword.
That is generally what happens when one is not in a proper army.
I don't hate it, honestly. As long as it's built well and you can use it.
Everyone has different training. It is good to use what one is good with. I say that, though perhaps that is not entirely accurate.
All the teachers
Perhaps.
are... The teachers are up there, and that one pretty boy with the flames.
Pretty boy.
Yeah, Virtues is trying to teach Rupert right now.
Oh.
Ironwood would help, but he's on rest, so he can't too much.
I have heard somewhat about this. I do not know what happened, however.
I'm not exactly sure what happened either, but I mean, as long as he's able to help or at least throw wisdom.
I know that his door was broken the other week.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I do worry about such things if it is tied to intense emotions.
Oh, well, no, the one time was because he was doing what Alphonse was showing one week, which was shrinking his size to conserve mana in a way.
Oh.
But then he went to go leave and broke off the door.
I see.
So...
That is at least better.
Yeah. It wasn't purposeful, he forgot how dense he was being small, so he went to go open door and flung the door off hinges. And for whatever reason, he brought it to the main hall. And they did announcements, and then they took the door away from main hall. I don't know why. But he brought it with him.
It says, "I like doors." That sounds fun.
Can you shoot me? Hello.
Sorry?
Can you shoot me?
With what? Do you want the... Oh.
This is not water, is it?
Do you want big beam or little beam?
Anything. Dave, why would you shoot me with not water? Nah. Stop. On the face.
Sorry, you didn't say where.
Touche.
And besides, I figured I'd get all of you just in case.
I suppose that technically could also be a type of ritual purification before an onsen.
It's gotten worse. This ain't doing none.
Hmm?
I can't turn it off sometimes. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
Is your head okay? She bonked you pretty hard, like 4 times.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
Thank you. By the way, thank you.
No
Inconvenienced, but
problem.
thank you.
Is your training going well?
Huh?
I heard that you were training. Is it going well?
Yeah, training to learn to use Abigail efficiently. She's become a bit heavy.
You're referring to your claymore?
I was, yes. It's a sentient being, at best.
I see. That is very
Yes, you
unique.
normally talk about swords having spirits. This is not that.
Mm. What do you mean?
So some swords have souls when blacksmiths create them. This is not that case because this is actually a being.
It is a being.
Correct?
It is not a spirit, is it?
Yeah.
It's a curse.
Well, it is a spirit, but it can take more physical form, correct?
It can take a physical form, yes.
Okay.
Though the irony is that that physical form is technically somewhere else. I
I
don't know
suppose
where.
it's somewhat unique.
This is where the
Okay.
Hello, Europa.
Abigail is an armor sword combination. I currently have the sword. She can display herself as the armor, but the armor is not here.
Just do be careful when dealing with curses.
I will. I promise. This has been throughout my family for centuries. So.
That is good to know then.
Apparently, I'm one of the few tolerable ones.
We've always been taught that curses can lead one closer to becoming a spirit, at least a malevolent one, so it is good to be as careful as possible.
Indeed. As far as I'm aware, I've mastered her.
That is good.
As I'm aware.
Is she the one that decides that?
I don't know. We sort of just said to each other, let's just not sap each other's abilities. She agreed, I agreed,
I
and
accidentally
now we're
fucked
here.
myself over by trying to absorb
Interesting.
elements for other people's sake and deal with the repercussions of that.
Hello, Cube. Hello.
Generally, would be most beneficial for us to be able to recognize it in others, even though that is a Valkyrie's job.
True.
Greetings.
Hello.
Greetings. Shall we pick a bench? I don't feel like, well, sitting on the floor and
Just
getting a
standing
skill
here.
today. Alright, I'm going to pick a bench.
Go pick one.
I'm gonna pick a bench. I figure out which one. I'm gonna pick up one of them.
In Kokkuri.
Yes.
I'd actually like to talk with you after the lesson if you're free.
Let's
That
pick
is
a
fine.
bench. Any bench. One of many.
Waiting for the class.
Good.
Smart, except pants underneath that.
You're referring to the upcoming class, yes?
Take a flight around.
Yes, just whenever you're free.
There may be I suppose, talk that some of us wish to have with many after the lesson as well.
Like an announcement. Hello, Epi.
Not so much an announcement, but a, what is the right term? Dissemination of information.
You're required for the next lesson. Meet me in the Valkyrie Lounge. That's where I'll be teaching it.
It's like relating to what I was going to ask you about, then.
Perhaps. I do not know what you wish to ask.
The next lesson will be in the Valkyrie
We'll find out when the time comes. Thank you, anyways.
Very well.
Hello? I can't hear anything.
Really?
See you later, Yoruba.
Hello?
Oh boy.
Apparently, if you want the
Valkyrie Lounge.
The fourth dimensional space is taking its hearing. Oh no.
I'll find a way. I always do.
Last thing I heard was a high-pitched sound, and now I can't hear anything.
If you're interested in attending the lesson, it's going to be over in the Valkyrie Lounge.
Understood. Thank you.
This is, Yo.
The uniform looks quite good on you, Sauron.
I got this.
Thank you.
I suppose it is best to at least go to one today, and then be prepared for afterwards.
He grabs his hand and he slowly absorbs back into his body.
Thank you, Cube.
Did you not hear a high-pitched, like, whooshing sound?
No.
I shall see you all later if you're not going to the
I know I saw
lesson.
Oh, yeah,
Let me
he
fix our
teleported.
hearing for you. Bonk.
No. With all due respect, that's how that works.
I might.
Is my OBS bugging again? Fuck. Greetings.
If something interesting comes up, please do inform. I'm gonna most likely.
Yeah, sorry, I got really into conversation there. How y'all doing?
I feel like too much sitting around, and if it's just in like a cramped common room, too. A little bit.
We'll have to see. If it is going to be cramped, it's not really necessary that I'm there.
We'll see once we get there.
I'm kind of curious what else is going on, so.
I think it'd be beneficial.
And there it feels small though.
That is a good way to avoid the stairs. Hello?
Hello. Okay, I don't see the professors. Okay, I think I'm safe.
Not too bad. Good. Okay, it's not frozen at the moment.
Listen, I saw in the corner of my eye, I thought it was a person.
And it might mess with a bunch of things, right?
Chat.
It does. So, maybe people don't notice, but it has happened before. If you overheal someone,
I know
it
you
can
were not
also
feeling
cause
well today.
vulnerability to
However,
multiple
you're still
diseases
getting
and
told,
also,
but,
believe it
you
or
know.
not, cancer. You don't have really a cure for that, so let's not do that. Secondly, if you were
You
to
are not.
overheal
You're
somebody
very
to a certain point, their body is not going to be regenerating normally as they would. Of course, it's different for other races. Slimes, for example, I guess, they kind of regenerate naturally also as well. But if you were to do it for a human, if you just only heal them over and over with magic, that would kind of screw over their whole system of body, making their whole body now dependent on magical healing, and they won't be healing naturally. This also, applies for if someone were to drink a health potion too much, and mana potion. Over usage on mana potions, you will also kind of make your whole mana pool depending on mana potions. You won't be able to recover that naturally. Don't.
So if you overheal
I'm
or
glad it's
you
not freezing.
overdo yourself with the mana, your body just kind of forgets to do like its basic thing, I guess.
Exactly. It basically overrides your whole tissues. When you're helping regenerate someone, let's say, simple scar, for example, right? That doesn't need magical healing. That just needs a simple disinfected and bandage it up. But if someone were to use only magical healing every single time for a scarring tissue, at that point the body's only going to think it only needs magical healing and won't regenerate properly. I've seen it before. Let's not have that. The last thing I want is someone to always be heavily reliant on healing magic. Leppy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to let you finish first.
No,
I was just asking, how long would that be until it gets to that point, though?
it differs between each race, I would say, along with the person overall, along with how much has been applied to them. For example, I would say stone, for example. Healing magic, it doesn't really apply to them, but mending is another thing. This also applies for gargoyle. If you were to over-mend a gargoyle or something else, you will also basically just be changing the structure of them. Good example, if we were to say, let's say you needed mending on your arm, right? If we were to over-mend that to the point, it will also start disfiguring his arm to a certain point where it's not really his arm now and changing his body structure.
Oh, that's
Anything for healing. You could do that for somebody making overgrown tissues, sometimes even overgrown bones. That's the last thing anyone wants.
I have an. I realize this quench probably sounds stupid, but what if it's natural based healing? For example, I've talked to Lance about this before. If I get too much lightning, my body begins to heal from it. But then there's the issue of, like you said, overhealing.
Natural based healing is usually fine, but that also starts conflicting when someone tries to heal over it, because now you're regenerating at a double factor.
Interesting. Alright.
Yes, Stone?
So then if we're worried about overhealing, how do we know how to apply the right amount of healing?
The right amount is for, this is my thing. I make sure at least they're at a stable state, first of all. Once they're at a stable state from the magical healing, then you go to the generic, get your bandages, medkits, all that kind of stuff. Simple, everything you guys should know. Honestly,
So
once we get to the point,
then-
when you guys go to a mission, I'll supply most of you guys with like simple first aid stuff. That way you guys could apply to anybody, and yourself. Yes.
So then we go from magic healing and then the triage,
Triage.
Triage.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
But I will also say this, not everything needs magical healing. For example, someone has a concussion. Don't use magical healing. That's a concussion. That's something you bring them here. We'll take care of it. We'll do the test to make sure they're fine. If they or not, then they just need to rest from that on. Yes, Stone.
Sorry, I'm gonna probably have a bunch of these. What if we're on the field and that happens, and we don't got time to go all the way back?
Put them in
Make sure you
retreat.
protect them. Basically, you guys are a team. The whole point of Valkyrie is making sure, and also this applies for a lot of you Valkyries, me teaching you guys or making you guys carry those sandbags, I'm making sure you guys are ready to carry anybody back in case they're injured.
Thanks so much for the raid.
We're going to get them out of harm's way as quickly as possible.
How's your stream? How you
Have
doing?
either Centurion, Valkyrie, Cavalry, one of the members help escort you back. Because when you're carrying somebody, you're not going to be able to defend yourself unless you have some way of meaning to do that.
Hopefully the flux wasn't
Anything
kicking your
Vivian would
ass.
like to say or...
Well, I would like to be able to partake in that training, but as you can see...
Believe it or not, you can still do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could strap them to the back of the cot.
Yeah, exactly. There's other ways, means of doing
Maybe
so,
we
even
prep
if you're
the
in a
legs up
wheelchair.
a little bit so they don't like cross the ground while they're going.
To go off of that, I'm going to say this: the only limitation you guys have is literally yourself. There's other ways to do means like to go further, like just because you're in a wheelchair. That too, or yeah. Anyways, there's also more things about overhealing besides like the tissue growth, bone growth. You could also